What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. Now, I live streamed with Fanboy Prime last night, and there I showed off some of the books that were gifted me from G Lantern Comics. He's a YouTuber here in my community. He's local to me. We met at Mill Geek Comics. I want to say like right at the beginning of the year, and we hit it off. We were communicating about potentially meeting up again, do some trades, and yeah, yesterday we hooked up again, had lunch, and just talked comic books. Uh, he had to basically kind of purge some of his collection, and he said he wanted to give me some books, and yeah, so we met up. Um, Again, he just gifted me about 80 books, like a short box of comics, and I gave him some books for his son and some DC books. But all in all, he just basically gave me a bunch of books. So, Josh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. I'm really looking forward to uh, doing more things with you, comic book related. Hopefully, we can go on some hunts together. Go to Mill Geek and hang out. But yeah, it was nice hanging out with you yesterday. All right, so yeah, Josh gifted me about 80 books, and you just are not going to believe some of the books in this collection. I mean, we're talking every age, basically, modern to Silver Age, and some of the Silver Age books are just some of the best books in my collection now. It's just insane how I just lucked out this summer. This summer of Superman has really been the summer of Superman, and we're going to get into what I was gifted. Now, yesterday before we had agreed to meet at a lunch spot, and I was kind of antsy. I got up, uh, didn't have any breakfast or anything. Uh, I kind of got ready and I just wanted to get out. I wanted to go to half price because I was going up to Marysville, which is about, I want to say about an hour um, north of where I am. Not quite an hour, about like 40 minutes, I want to say. And we never really go up there. I've been meaning to hit up Everett Comics, but there's so much stuff down here, like uh, in King County. Uh, that I seldom like there was no impetus for me to go to Everett because there was just a lot of stuff here that I could potentially use my budget on. But I was curious to see what Everett Comics had, but I know, Everett Comics doesn't have the best dollar bins. And while you occasionally find a really good book at a very low or competitive, I shouldn't say competitive, a very low price. Like they have sometimes you find signed books in there for $10. Sometimes you find big keys, like really nice condition, kind of underpriced. Uh, so it is worth digging there. But I hadn't gone up there. So, but anyway, I would, I was hoping to hit up Ever Comics, but I didn't have any cash. So I just thought, the worst I could do was to go up to half price books and just dig, because sometimes you find at half price books some like huge books. So if it was one of those scenarios, I would dip into my, you know, but it wasn't one of those scenarios. I just decided to get 3 books at half price books because there were books I've been meaning to add to my collection. So we're gonna go through what I picked up at half price books first. It's just 3 books. We paid about $6. Right? No. What did we pay? $1.25 plus 3. That's 4.25 plus tax. We paid about $5 for this small haul. Um, and I'll just kind of show it off here. We picked up Batman 651. This is The Death of Magpie. Picked that up for $1.25. Key book there. We also picked up Batman Gotham Knights #2. This one is really cool because it has a black and white comic by John Byrne. It's a black and white John Byrne comic. Really cool Batman like side story here. But yeah, I mean, you got Brian Ballin goodness on the second Batman Gotham Knights there. And this is it, when you couple Brian Ballin's art with this sort of title here, voted the century's most popular comics character. While I disagree with that, he was very popular. He's more popular than Superman, and that irks me to no end. That Batman's more popular than Superman. Anyway, hopefully that's changed now. But I don't know. Moving forward, I know when Batman gets launched in the DCU, there's going to be a lot of people excited about that, me included. But again, they're both kind of like partners anyway. As long as you like them both and not like one over the other. All right. This last book we picked up at Half Price Books is a book we've been meaning to add because it's just a really exquisite cover by Brian Bolland. We picked up Wonder Woman 89. And as you can see, you got this really sort of grotesque, kind of burnt to a crisp. I don't even, maybe just decaying. Yeah, burnt to a crisp. She's on fire. Burnt to a crisp Wonder Woman there. Really gruesome looking. But we got the DC Universe logo, the DC logo copy. So this is like a, $10 book or so. It was there for $3. It's one we've been meaning to add. And yeah, just another, I think we're like 2 from completing the Ballin cover run here on Wonder Woman. So really nice. All right. So those are the books I paid for. These are the books that were, again, an AOK from Josh. And again, I'm so grateful to him. He's just so generous to provide me these books. And apparently, he's going through more books to purge. He just wants to, because he's more of a reader than a collector. He picks up books, finishes kind of runs that he's missing. Big DC guy. I was telling Fanboy last night, between Josh and Fanboy, I mean, these are two of the most knowledgeable experts on DC comic books, because they've read so much and they are so passionate about the characters. And yeah, it was anytime I connect with those guys like that, people who have a lot of knowledge, whether it be Roger, whether it be Damien, whether it be Fanboy, whether it be Josh, I always have I come out of it with a better sense of, my own comic book knowledge, because they're imparting such, just in the casual way we're talking, they're imparting a lot of knowledge passively, right? So I appreciated, yeah, just sitting down with them and chatting, talking shop. And we're both talking about the movie yesterday, Superman, and how his son likes the character now. So that was really fun. But anyway, we're going to get to this haul. And man, again, you're in for a treat. This is like 80 books, okay? This is like, if this were a haul video, this isn't really a haul video in the sense that I picked these up at, at a comic book shop. but it is a haul video in the sense that these are now books in my collection that again Josh uh, generously gave to us. So the first book, I picked this up recently, but Josh had it in his box, so it's my second copy of Superman. Uh, this is the Radio Shack TRS 80 Computer Whiz Kids. Um, just a great cover there. I believe this cover is, I want to say it's Ross Andrew, but it maybe Bob Oxner. I don't know. We gotta look that up. Next we have Superman 66. Cool Dan Jurgens cover there. Um, love stuff like this. Love this era of Superman, um, the 90s era. We got Superman 68, Deathstroke versus Superman cover there. Pretty cool. Got Lex Sarah in the back. This is a really interesting one. We have a cover here where uh, Batman gets bit by a vampire and he's bleeding out. Look at that. Superman and Robin. Some vampire action. Again, Dan Jurgens reading goodness. We got Superman 162, Ed McGuinness, Jeff Loeb goodness from the 2000s. Vote Lex 2000. I really think there's potential. Lex makes a comeback. He gets exonerated somehow, and he runs for president. I think in the second one he's going to run for president, do something really nefarious. There's a lot of fan theories out there. That's a couple. I would like to see Lex actually make a run for president, maybe even become president, and then Superman's put in a very awkward position, right? All right. We're going to go now to a Jim Lee update with, again, some of these books. I was able to surpass the 400 mark on my Jim Lee collection. So, Josh, thank you again. You've contributed to yet another milestone, several milestones in my collection now, based off this, uh, based off this, this load here. And the Jim Lee collection was, I think, at like 396 or 7 or somewhere like that. I put all the data into my spreadsheet and I looked at it. Now, the Jim Lee collection, it's at 403 now. The count is at 403. So I'm going to go over the books that we've added that contributed to the count. And they're rather significant books, some of them. So we start here with Immortal Men #1, Jim Lee cover there. That is another check off the list. Immortal #2, that is another check off the list. This one I had, but we got another copy, so that's a cool. That is just a cool Batman Who Laughs cover there. We have Immortal Men #4. That is it for the Immortal Men Jim Lee covers, but we do have some Tyler Kirkham covers with Immortal Men 4, and Immortal Men 5 and 6. Okay, continuing on with the Jim Lee books that we got. We have a sketch cover of Infinite Crisis #3. #4. And this is one of my favorites, #6. Yeah. Got. I think this is still Superboys battling one another. But that suit is just It's just badass. And when seeing it as a sketch cover just makes it, because when it's colored and inked in, has a completely different, more darker feel to it. But I just love how clean that cover looks with the sketch. That's Jim Lee goodness right there. See that? See all the pencil lines and whatnot. That is just really nice. All right. We picked up some Justice League variant covers as well. So most of these I have, but two that we didn't have. We picked up another copy of Justice League Volume 4, Number 1, the Jim Lee variant. This is one we didn't have, number 2. And we have, this is another check off the list now. Number 3, this is our second copy. And the one what we didn't have was the Cyborg one. So now we have Cyborg variant number 5. And there's, again, those are the Jim Lee ads. We're at either 403 or 404 count now. So we've surpassed the 400 mark on our Jim Lee collection. So big milestone. We wanted to hit that this summer. We finally did. And now it's 400 and counting. So, but again, that's going to be a slower paced pickup, hopefully. And, we'll continue to pick up Jim Lee books, but that will not be the focus of my collection anymore. It'll just be literally like, oh, we found it for $1. We'll add it. Those kinds of things. All right. Well, we still have a lot of books to get through, so let's keep going. I picked up Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. This is a series that I wasn't aware of. It's a Mark Waid written series. I'm interested to actually read this because I think it'll give me some maybe different perspective on the Supergirl movie coming up. Looks like a good read. So Supergirl Legion of Heroes, Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes, number 21, number 23, number 26, and number 28. Cool ads there. This is a cool cover by, forget who this artist is. I think it's, I'll have to look him up. But it's Ostrander and Luke McDowell series from, I think this is the volume 1 of Suicide. But we've got Suicide volume 1, number 10. That's a cool cover there. This one is key because it's the origin of Oracle. As you know, Barbara Gordon, she's paralyzed by the Joker. And then she basically, she wants to continue to contribute, but she can't be Batgirl and she can't be running around. So she uses her, kind of like expertise in computers and surveillance and security systems to like kind of help Batman out. This is the origin of that, apparently. And you got BG on the cover there with his fat gun there. We picked up a lot of Wonder Woman from the Greg Rucka era. This is around 2004. We've got some beautiful J.G. Jones covers. Wonder Woman 206. There's another good one right here. 207. $208. This one is a Medusa cover here. 209. Favorite heroine of 2003 Wizard Fan Awards. 210. 211. Of course, she's a fan favorite. 212. 213. That's a nice one right there. The beheading of Medusa. 214. 215. You got she's riding on the black winged horse there. I forget what the Greek name of that horse is. 216. I think it's what? Pegasus? Yeah, Pegasus. 216. Give me a second here. What have we shown off? 216, 217. Here we go. This 216 is pretty. That's a nice artwork there. 217 as well. All right. I think that's it for the Wonder Woman. So that's cool. All right. Now I think, pretty much from here on out, it's Superman books and, well, yeah, they're all DC books for the most part, but there's going to be mostly Superman related books from here on out and Silver Age DC. So you're in for a treat. All right, here we go. We have, I think this is a 4-issue. Fanboy was saying this was introduced in like magazine format first and then I think republished. I don't know if this is the first run of this or if they're reprints, but what we have is Superman Up in the Sky, 4 issues, 4-issue run here. Issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, and issue 4. And what's great about this is it's Tom King's Superman, which I'm really interested to read because I do like Tom King's DC stuff. I feel like of the stuff I've read, Batman and Supergirl, I did like it. So I'm just curious. He's teamed up with Andy Kubert here, so you're going to get good art and story hopefully. So I am going to read this, and I'll let you know my thoughts down the road. But yeah, issue 4. Look, there's like a nice Flash Superman race. Kind of want to see that, and then I don't know. He's getting beat up there. Is he fighting Muhammad Ali again? We'll see. Looks like Superman doesn't have powers. He's on an alien planet, and he's just fighting for truth, justice, and the universal way. All right, we got more books to get to. We got Identity Crisis #2, our second copy. Very nice, Michael Turner goodness. We've got issue 3, that's new to the collection, as well as issue 5, new to the collection. So yeah, checked off some Michael Turner stuff for the collection. All right, we're gonna show off some action. I've actually kind of reserved the Silver Age stuff to show off last. There's a lot of good Silver Age stuff, and I consider that really the valued portion of this AOK. And yeah, again, just a lot of really good books, key books, really decent grade on most of these books. I mean, you have low grade books, but they don't look low grade in that sense. There's low grade and then there's really low grade, right? These are kind of like mid to low grade or mid to high grade books for the most part. All right, Let's start here. We're going to get into our Action Comics run here. Action Comics 439. That is, I believe this is Bob Oxner goodness here that we're looking at. Very nice. We have Action Comics 446, also Bob Oxner. Oh no, that previous cover was a Nick Cardy cover, I believe. No, I think it's Bob Oxner. I'll have to check. This is Bob Oxner, I bet. 446. This one is, I want to say Bob Oxner, 464. All right, here we go. We have some Ross Andrew. Oh no, sorry, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez goodness right there. This is our second copy. This is the nicer copy. Well, no. I think my previous copy is nicer. This one looks nice. It's got a corner crease right there. I don't think my other one does. The spine is nicer on this one for sure. This is a nicer copy. My second copy. I picked this one out of the quarter bin earlier this summer, but this is like a VF copy here, whereas the quarter bin book was more in the VG range. But we have 476. Kurt Schaffenberger. Goodness there. Love that cover. We got, this is Bob Oxner. No, Rich Buckler. This is a Rich Buckler 477 there. Nice. Interesting cover. We got two copies of 478. This one is a fine copy. You got the second cover is maybe a fine minus copy. Let's say fine plus, fine minus. We have 479. This looks to be a fine copy as well. A fine plus. This is our second copy. This one is nicer than the previous one we had. 488. Again, this I think is a first appearance of Microwave Man. Key book there. I like that in my archive. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez goodness. Here's some more Ross Andrew goodness. We got another copy of 500. This is a fine copy. Our other copy is higher grade. Don't mind adding more of those though. 500. Action Comics 523. Rich Buckler. Goodness right there. Man. This one is a really I love this one because this is a George Perez cover. One of his earliest covers on Action Comics. I think this is one that I've been targeting. It is kind of in the VG plus range, but what we have it here is Action Comics 529 George Perez cover there. Oh, love that. We got some Gil Kane Action Comics 546. I'm not a big fan of this Gil Kane artwork, but yeah, don't hate it either. You got the Justice League and the new Teen Titans all joining Superman for something going down here, the showdown. Love that stuff. All right, and we got some Kerry Gamble goodness with the Death of Luthor on Action Comics 660. Superman is the Grim Reaper there. We picked up some more DC Comics Presents. I hadn't been targeting or looking at DC Comics Presents, but they've just been like popping up super cheap, and we just couldn't. I've basically assigned myself to collecting this run now, and I blame. Oh, I don't blame, but I attribute it to Fanboy Prime just putting it on my radar and saying whatever he collects, he has influenced me to collect as well. So, but this is a great collect. I mean, it is a great run. It's like all these great team ups here. We've got DC Comics presents number 16, Superman and Black Lightning. That is freaking dope. I hope we do see more of Black Lightning because he was a big part of the you know Saturday morning cartoons as well. We have Superman and the Elongated Man. This is DC Comics presents 21. This is the one I've been wanting to pick up, and it's a great cover as well. Superman and Shazam. DC Comics presents 33. That's always good when you have Shazam on versus Superman. Superman and Firestorm. This is a cool one too. Ross Andrew, goodness right there. This one is, I think his name is Dick Newton, Dan Newton. It's Dan Newton, something Newton, Don Newton, maybe Bob Newton. Anyways, a Bob Newton cover, 54. Him and Superman and Green Arrow. And then this one, again, I don't like Kirby doing Superman. But it is interesting when you have Jack Kirby, uh, you know, doing anything on a cover. So it is cool. But yeah, again, not my favorite Superman artist. I really just don't like his style on the character. That's just me. Maybe you do like it, but I wish he'd stop. So DC Comics presents 84 Superman and the Challengers of the Unknown. And you got Kirby Superman there, looking wonky as ever. All right, now we're getting into the Silver Age stuff, and so this is the just the whoa, what? I can't believe you got that portion of the summer pickups. We're going to start with a coverless book. This is Batman 193. It's got some writing on there as well. This is a giant size. Just like the front portion of the cover just tore off. It's got some rips in the book as well. I'm just going to take it out. The back cover is intact. It's got like a big rip on the front. Look at that. Get these nice interior pages there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a Silver Age Batman book. Batman, His Majesty King Batman. There's some, there's some stories here. I think there's an armored Batman. We got all the things here. Ride Bat Ombre Ride. We've got the armored Batman, His Majesty King Batman, Batman and the Vikings, Mayor Bruce Wayne. That sounds like a fun story, and the Flying Batman. I just want to check out Mayor Bruce Wayne. There's some syndicated Sunday comic strips in here as well. That's pretty cool when they ink and color that stuff. Yeah, Mayor Bruce Wayne. What's the matter, Bruce? So Batman and Bruce Wayne are here being celebrated on this. So it's some plot to expose Bruce, and Batman shows up. Looks like an interesting read. All right, well, front cover's missing. but we don't mind. That's a good read right there. So loved it. Love to spend time with that book. All right, getting back to our what we picked up from like Silver Age. I'm just gonna keep it in my lap. We have Superboy 116. I put the grade at a VG plus. We have Superboy 115. Love this cover. Um, it's in rough shape though. I may just want to get a better copy down the road. There's a big chunk missing. There's the staple looks well. It's not. No, the staples are attached. They're rusty, and there's just like piece just wanting to flake off there on the spine. But this is a good copy. Good, maybe good minus. But the Atomic Superboy, you got this atomic reaction going off in his stomach, and now he can breathe fire. Uh, Superboy, I'm sorry, we asked you to swallow those two new chemicals so we could observe the reaction in your stomach. It caused an atomic explosion. Every time you breathe, you will emit nuclear fire. That is just hilarious. All right. I love these. This is why I love these books. Superboy 108. This is the sensational true story of the Kent's first super son. So Clark was apparently not the first super son. They had apparently there's just a plethora of super sons to adopt in Smallville, and the Kents got both of them. Action Comics 329. This is another like story where Superman's powerless and he's just gonna be brave and fight. Doesn't care if he dies. It's kill or be killed. Come on and fight, whoever you are. You've robbed me of all my superpowers, but I'm not afraid to die. I'll duel you to the death. And he's got the rainbow shield of something. That's pretty cool. Batman 170. This is got writing, scribbling on it, but a little piece missing in the bottom. So, you know, like a good copy, good plus maybe. Maybe VG minus. Get a little chunk missing in the bottom there. No real major creasing. Just some wear at the top and some wear at the spine, some degradation here in the center. Got some color breaks, color breaking. Yeah, just color breaks throughout the book, just from where the page has been turned or bent, but still remarkably vibrant and great looking comic book. Yes, this is Carmine Infantino. Might be some early Carmine Infantino. I'll have to look that up. All right, we've also got more Superboy here. This is a book that we had thought about picking up, I think for $5, but we held off on it. It is. I do love this because it's it's just the kind of stuff I love about Superboy. So Clark Kent super show off. Aren't you mad at yourself, Lana Lang? As soon as I replace the Superboy sign with that new one of me, everyone will know that the timid Clark you always laughed at is a famous hero. Welcome to Smallville, home of Super Clark Kent. And you just got Lana just looking, shocked. She's like, oh my goodness, what, Clark has gone off the deep end again. All right, we've got Superman 186. We've got two copies of 186. One is a VG copy. One is, well, they're both kind of VG copies. I think one presents a little better than the other. This one presents a little better, but it's got like like a gnarled corner right there. This is actually, I think, the better grade of the two. This one has the corners look better, but the spine is has a lot of color breaks. You can actually see on a dark cover like this, you can see all the color breaks there. This is the Seance cover, where the ghosts of Superman and Clark show up. The two ghosts of Superman. Very nice purple cover there with the yellow, red and yellow. That is nice. All right, got two copies of that. This is my second copy, and again, one of my favorite covers from the Superman run. Just because it's just goodness right here. And this is I've got mine in like a VF copy of this. This one is, I'd say, a solid VG plus copy. And what we have is Superman 180, the girl who bested Superman, right? I've been beaten by a girl for the first time in my life. That's just goodness right there. All right, so continuing on, that was some of the Silver Age. We're now getting into some of the bigger Silver Age books from this AOK. We have Superman 188, and this one is really nice. I'm gonna put this at a fine copy. Yeah, fine minus fine to fine minus copy. Superman 188. This is the School of Super Assassins. Really hilarious stuff here. You got a bunch of people just beating on Superman. And he's saying, idiots, you get 0 on this exam if you can't even kill me, an android duplicate of Superman. You'll flunk this course. Now find a way to destroy me or be expelled. The School of Superman Assassins. Next, we have Superboy 113, and yeah, it looks extremely like vibrant, and its spine is, I mean, the upper part of the spine does have some wear, but the lower part of the spine is just so clean, and it's such a clean book. Does have a really clean, like, straight line subscription crease right down the middle as well, but doesn't really detract from it. It's not like a real apparent crease. Superboy 113, again, just a really, really nice mid-grade copy there. Yeah, I put it right at like around a 4.0. Again, the subscription crease, I think a lot of people overlook it. As long as it's not like terrible, which that one isn't. They usually overlook it. The back doesn't even have a subscription crease, so it's just one of those like front cover dealies. But yeah, you got the Superboy of 800 years ago. I don't know what that's about, but it sounds intriguing. I would have picked the book up on that description there. This is Muto the Monarch of Menace. And I don't know exactly if this is a second appearance. I believe it's a second appearance. But we have Action Comics 338. Uh, that's a cool book right there. We have this is another one that we've been meaning to pick up because I collect super babies. Anytime you have super baby on a cover, it's something I want. And this is sort of a you know uh, middle of the road Silver Age book, or sort of I guess late era Silver Age book. I think 1966 is when this was published. Uh, but we have Super Baby's first foster parents. So apparently, Martha and Kent uh, weren't the ones to adopt Kal-El initially, but you have Superboy displaying his feats of strength, and we got here too late. Another couple has adopted Super Baby, and that nurse who's coming to get him for them will see him showing off his superpowers. Smallville Orphanage. Uh, I'm sure I'm sure he ends up with Martha and Pa in this one anyway. So love these kinds of origin stories where they weren't the first ones to adopt him. Uh, that's a funny narrative though. All right, this one is cool. We mentioned Jack Kirby. Uh, while I think Jack Kirby is again a legendary comic book artist, absolutely an innovator in the Silver Age. Um, you know, again, I just as long as he's not working on Superman books, it's fine, right? Here is something that he really created that was again very innovative. I think it does deserve more credit for bringing this world into DC. And what we have is the New Gods issue number 4. This is a nice, I want to say, fine copy as well, maybe fine plus. Um, Really not a lot wrong with the book. The spine is for sort of like a larger size. Um, the staples are still solid. It's got a little bit of a curl, spine curl, but again, with the press, it would really look fabulous. Its major flaw is just a little chunk missing off the corner, the spine corner there. But again, not a lot of color breaks. Looks really vibrant and clean. We got the New Gods number 4. That's a pretty cool book. Um, all right, so we've got that book. We're not done yet. I know you're like, Otaku. Aren't you done yet? Come on, this is insane. How could you have picked up all these books and still be going? Yes, it is rather insane today. I'm hopping on in the morning because I have a lot of organizing to do, and I want to be able to put this into the collection and organize it. So I just want to get it out of the way, do the haul video because I always catalog what I pick up and how I pick it up, and my thoughts when I pick it up. So yeah, we got a couple more books to go through, and these are the big books of the collection. The uh, these are the books of this uh, pickup here. Ooh, yeah, they just get bigger and bigger. Yeah, I like that over here. All right, so we picked up Batman 186. This is an iconic Joker cover. Features the first appearance of Gaggy the Clown. Um, this is a VG copy. It needs a press. It's got some color breaking, like huge color breaking creases. Not like you can see them, right? But they're not like ugly creases. They're just kind of sitting there in the background. But yeah, outside of that, Spine still, staples are there. Spine still decent. Um, Again, it's never been pressed. It looks like so. Sure, pressing and cleaning would help. This has Roger's name written all over it, so something we may send to him. This one also, I would put this one at really like a fine minus. I want to say, it's got some spine wear on the bottom here, like a slight color break in the center, and again a little bit of just needs a press. There's not. It's just kind of a little bit of a bend there. Nothing color breaking. Yeah, just a little bit of a bend. But we have Superman 182. This is the first appearance of the Toy Man in the Silver Age, and they have him a little. They have him a little, little gluttony there, playing with the super toys. Just love that giant great two-part novel. Uh, he's unloading an armored truck, obviously doing crimes for him right in the broad daylight. Uh, that's hilarious. All right, that's a big key book right there. So these are all key books, pretty much. We have Superman 158. This is the first appearance of Thanol. Thanol is a Kryptonian, or he's a Kandorian, and the Kandorians want to free their city, and they're going to prove Superman wrong. They're like make the city big and free themselves. No, Superman saying no, you can't do that. Something bad's going to happen. This one is just a classic cover. It's also a milestone issue, and it's also a book that reminds us of the apathy people had towards Superman, for the most part, and for a lot of comic book fans. And I'm looking at you, comic book fans. Okay, I know a lot of you right now are loving Superman, and talking about Superman now, but a lot of you were uh, downright negative about the character. There's no other way to sugarcoat it, right? Um, and that's unfortunate, because it really, like, as comic book fans, you guys should know better than the general public. Um, like how significant the character is. So if you don't like the character, there's no need to hate on him. Just remain apathetic like the rest of the public, but don't go out of your way to hate on the character. Just leave it at like he's not my character, right? But then some of you are really just negative on justifying why you don't like Superman, and that's where like again, this book it just so this was a thing like that was brought up in comic books, but it became a real thing in real life. Superman featuring When the World Forgot Superman. So during the Golden Silver Age, all the way even into the Bronze and Modern Age, Superman was the most popular character, the best-selling comic book. Nobody would forget about Superman, especially comic book fans, right? Most of the comic book fans, Superman was the pull, and all the other stuff was just stuff you kind of followed, secondary, tertiary to Superman. Well, again, during my generation, that entirely changed, and during my lifetime, I've watched people forget about Superman. Literally, just like apathetic to who the character is, what he does. Oh yeah, he's my grandpa's Superman, something to that effect. So yeah, Superman here is like doing tricks just to get some attention here. Attention, Metropolis Police. Doesn't this feat prove I'm Superman? Who's that man in the strange costume? Get him down before he breaks his neck. It's some guy who calls himself Superman. Superman. Never heard of him. When the world forgot Superman. So I just love this book. It's got, first of all, classic Kurt Swan artwork there. Superman just balancing on one finger on a telephone wire or something like that. Um, what we have here is a VG Plus copy. Yeah, looks really clean. The staples are still there and holding. Not a lot of wear on the book. General sort of like uh, kind of tanning across the book, but again, in the white areas is still very, very, very clean. So, um, yeah, excellent grade for this book, man. Man, I mean, this one just instantly becomes one of my favorite Superman books. Um, because there was a time when, before Gun Superman, the world had forgotten about Superman. All right, moving on. These are, again, two, that one counts as one of the biggest books in my Superman collection. This also, I believe, would be probably my best Superman book. Um, and I'm just talking like the Superman run. I consider this book. Uh, no, I like Superman 150 better. So, but anyway, this is still a significant book. And the grade on this book is what really makes this book. I'd say the similar VG plus copy of this one. It's a VG plus, maybe even a fine minus. Especially on older books like this, I'd give it a little bit of a bump because of how it presents. But we have Superman 148, a Mr. Mxyzptlk cover here, or story. Um, and we have all these, like, this prison. He's turned all these prisoners to have Superman's powers: invulnerability, the super strength, ability to fly. They're just having a good old time with their superpowers, and they're just beating on each other, and laughing. So yeah, Superman has to deal with that. Uh, is it a man? Is it a bird? No, it's a jailbird. And I do believe we got hints of the Mr. Mxyzptlk and Batmite. So those are probably in our near future. And I know James Gunn can make characters like that work, right? So yeah, if you're a betting person, I think going out and get, if you can afford, the first or early appearances of Mxyzptlk and Batmite, those would be good books to target. All right. This last one is just incredible to me because it's a big book, and um, it's in fantastic grade. It does have a little bit of a corner piece missing. It's just not that significant in the overall span of things. And the back cover, I'll show you the back cover. The back cover just looks incredible. White pager for the most part. Corners are sharp, no creasing. Just spine is clean. Really, really clean book there. And you're wondering, hey, what is this? So I would put this grade at a VF. I really would put this grade at a VF. It's insane how really nice this looks. And what we have is the first issue of the Metal Men series, Metal Men #1. It's a big book. again, this is a high grade copy of Metal Men and the absolute treasure in this AOK. So, man, this is the book of the AOK, book of the AOK, Metal Men number one. And, you know, uh, this is a perfect thing to introduce in Guns uh, DCU. I mean, you could introduce this as a television show, you could introduce it as a movie, but the fact that you have these like um, metal robots, conscious, basically conscious robots, right? Aware robots, um, is really a story that has it was relevant in the 60s and it definitely is relevant today. You can uh, take that AI narrative and work it into this series, no problem. So hopefully they do more with Metal Men, and this book is just poised to be a fan favorite. But for now, it's just kind of in the background, DC classic, Silver Age book, and now it's part of my collection. So there you go. That is it. Now I can go about my day in terms of organizing. I'm just going to be organizing books all day, um, kind of putting stuff, taking stuff out of boxes, putting stuff back in boxes, rearranging my filing cabinet to just reflect what I'm keeping versus what you know we may sell or keep uh, just apart. I've just got to just basically put the core stuff uh, and rearrange all the other stuff. And it's really difficult to do because of the limited space. But again, I'm going to spend the bulk of the day doing that today. Hope you liked the books. Again, I picked up. These are just again instantly some of the best books in my collection. So Josh, thank you again, man. Really appreciate you. Looking forward to us hanging out again and doing more comic book related stuff. And yeah, the summer of Superman continues. I just thought I wouldn't have any more books to show off at this point, but there you go. That's Unmyung for you. The Unmyung forces, the forces of destiny, the forces of, uh, you know, positive energy, forces of putting an idea out there and just exuding that kind of aura for to attract and put yourself in situations where you can find the books that you're looking for. So, um, yeah, we do this every week. So I got a new short box from Josh as well. So I have a little bit more space to put, organize books. So that'll be nice. I can kind of expand the collection a little bit to not feel like I have to get rid of books, but keep the ones I do want to keep, and we'll see where the overflow box lands up. But I had uh, considered giving my Wolverine books and all selling those all away, but now who knows? We may continue to keep the Wolverine books um, and the X Factor books that we have in our collection. So that is it. I'm going to get to organizing. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.